Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do something ridiculous, but hopefully it works. I am going to try to fix the holes in the floor of this truck with this, an oven drawer. Because I am tired of every time I get in and out of this thing looking down and seeing the ground. Don't like it, drives me nuts. On top of that, I am going to attempt to attach them with this, the cheapest riveter that I could find for only $10. And we're gonna see how it goes. Maybe I'll be able to do it, maybe I won't. Let's find out. All right, so these are the holes that I'm talking about. There's one on this side, there's one on the other side. I think there's one towards the top, there may be one towards the back. I'm gonna try to make pieces that fit and follow the curve of the truck. I'm gonna try and pull up the mat to where it stays in one piece, which might be impossible, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna get all of this stripped out, and hopefully we won't have to unbolt the seat and lift it up to get underneath of it. I'm hoping maybe I can just roll that mat back, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so let me get all this stuff taken out of here. It's the side panel and the trim and everything out of the way, and we'll go from there. So we got all the pad out of the way, and this is what we're looking at. It's quite a bit worse than what I had originally thought with the mat over it, but it usually is. I was wondering why it was rusting here. Now I see that it was all flowing, like water was getting in, and it was flowing down from this area over to here. So now I know why that is. Just to be clear, I ain't trying to make this perfect. Like, I'm not putting all new floor pans in this thing. This thing is a service truck. It's a work truck. What I'd like to do is just get it to where I don't see a hole in the floor, and then the floor is stable. You can see right here, as bad as it looks, it is solid. So if I can tie a piece from the solid point all the way over into here and make all of this solid down to here, that's what I'm looking to do. Hopefully I have enough metal. Hopefully the other side doesn't look as bad as this. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get all this cleaned out and get all the rust. Probably gonna wire brush this floor, and we'll see how it looks at that point. All right, so as you can see, I cleaned it out as much as I could, wire brushed it. It's still pretty darn rough, which is part of the reason I'm not trying to make this thing perfect. I also did trim off some of the pieces that were basically falling off anyways, just to clean it up some. I'm gonna hit it with some Rust-Oleum. And the reason I'm using this is because it's what I got left. It's just a spare can that I used on something else. I don't even remember what, I've had it forever. But it will put a coat over all of that, and then later on, after I get everything in and kind of cleaned up, I can come back with something that more matches the color and, make it look a little more aesthetically pleasing. All right, so I've spray painted it, got some Rust-Oleum over it. Come take a look at this. This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It looks like the Incredible Hulk puked in this truck. It is just horrific. I've never seen a worse application of this color green in my life. It looks pretty good on a tractor, but in there, that's horrible. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, well, why the hell did you do that? Really, all I wanted to do at this point was encapsulate that rust. I am going to go over this with another color and cover all of that up, believe me. But for now, I just wanted to protect it. So what we're gonna start doing now is we're gonna start working on our oven parts to use to patch some of these holes. Every time I start to talk, he starts to weed eat. Here we have our oven drawer facing. handle and all of that. I've taken, if you see at the bottom lip, this was all bent up. I just scored it across and bent it over slightly. I'm gonna try and use that to help support and replace some of the missing piece at the bottom. Hopefully you'll be able to see that when I install it. I did some rough math, but basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it here, and then we're gonna try and fit it, and we're gonna see how far we get with it. All right, so I cut the initial drawer, and then what I did, if you come over here, after I cut it, I fit it in, I trimmed off the corner over there, and used a rubber mallet to kind of shape it into the way that I wanted it. I'm gonna have to use another piece up here because it wasn't long enough. But that's okay. Just use 2 pieces in order to secure this together. Now I did put 2 self-tapping screws in just to hold it in place. Now I'm gonna come behind, I'm gonna drill some holes, and I'm gonna rivet this piece in so that hopefully it stays permanently. Here we go, I haven't ever riveted before. I always wanted to give this a shot. That's kind of why I'm doing this. Just always wanted to try, you know, doing something with a rivet instead of a screw. To some people, this seems janky, you know, like why am I repairing it like this? And some people aren't gonna like it. And that's all right. I mean, a big part of what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to show people, like, you know, you can do things in different ways. This is gonna fix this floor. It's gonna make it solid and sturdy. And once the mat's over it, nobody's gonna know. It's a $10 tool that I got from Wally World. I'm not gonna be using it a lot. If it gets me through this project, it'll have been worth it. I might have to buy a few more of these rivets. Try and have as much fun with this kind of stuff as I can. I have gotten all the metal in the floor. If you come in here, we ended up having to use the second piece up here. I was able to fold it down as well to create a seam there. And I used a couple of scrap pieces to rebuild this piece here, going up to this and this. Now I'm gonna be doing a little more here later. So that's why there's nothing there right now. At this point, all the holes are patched on this side and riveted in. So what I need to do now is go through with some caulk, and I'm gonna seam seal all the spots in the metal where the metal meets. It'll block out the wind and any water from getting in. Make it look as nice as possible. Once that's done, we're gonna put some paint over it. Hopefully, it'll look pretty good. I think it looks pretty good right now. I really do. I think using the oven door, I mean, it's an oven drawer. I mean, it's not like, it's just scrap metal. But it is solid. It's solid in there. It ain't going nowhere. I'm pretty happy with this and pretty impressed. I don't think that I even expected that it was gonna come out this good. I was honestly kind of nervous whether or not I was even gonna be able to do it. But the rivets seem really cool, although I am almost running out of rivets, so I'm gonna need to buy some more rivets. The rivets seem to hold everything really tight, and they worked out really well. So let me get some caulk on here, seal all these seams. I'll bring you back when that's done, and then we'll put some paint over it, and we'll see how it looks once all of it's done. I have been working on this for hours. I am sweating. It is hot out here. So I'm just gonna jump to it and get this done. I got everything caulked in, kind of smeared it on. The reason I used caulk instead of something else was because it's latex, and I'm hoping it'll expand a little bit as the metal maybe settles in. You can see the wind blowing. I don't know if you can. We've got clouds moving in. It's about to start pouring. Before it does, let's take a look at everything caulked in. I'm going to try and get a surface sand on that real quick, which I should have done before I caulked it. And then I'm going to hit it with some paint. I found some more paint, some more Rust-Oleum Simigloss. I think this is either dark gray or black. That ought to do the trick for what we're trying to do. I want to get a coat on top of everything. Then we're going to probably call it a day and do the other side tomorrow. For me, it'll be tomorrow. For you, instantaneous. All right. As you can see, floor's done. I have painted over the green. It came out a little more brown than gray. That's fine. It doesn't really bother me. I'm gonna end up having to paint all these spots anyways. Happy. I think it came out great. I mean, you know, an oven drawer. Started out as an oven drawer, and now it's the floor of this truck. You know, it even gave me the ability to make these rails to put the weather stripping on, and it just really turned out really nice. I really couldn't have hoped for anything better than this, based off the materials I was using. We still got to do the other side. It's gonna start pouring here any minute. I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back to day 2 of fixing our floors with an oven drawer. Yesterday we did the first floor up until it started pouring and thundering and lightning and, you know, semi-apocalypse type of stuff. Today we are going to work on this floor. If you look down in there, what you see is that somebody already tried to repair it once before. Kind of seems like Bondo, but it also seems to have some like fibers or something down in the bottom of it. So I don't know if they put something down and Bondoed over it, or if they did like a coat, fiberglass, Bondo, and then another coat, a regular Bondo over the top. But it's solid. Okay, I banged on it with a hammer and everything else just to make sure it is solid, but it does not cover everything. So we are going to fix everything else, starting back here with these holes and then moving forward across the rest of the base. If you notice, it is all right here. It is also missing the trim, the same as the other side that the weather stripping goes on. So we're going to fix that as well. This is what we have left of our oven drawer. And I've already mocked up some pieces. A couple of strips here, corner piece. I've done all this today with this, and this. And believe me, it won't no fun. It does appear that it'll work. I prefer to do this with my air-powered grinder, but it unfortunately died after 20 years of service, so I can't hate on it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do similar to the same as yesterday. I'm gonna coat that down with the green spray paint, and then we are going to start putting pieces in. I did have to buy some more rivets. You know, the pack didn't come with enough. We're almost made it, but we're gonna end up short. So we're gonna continue with our attempting to rivet all of this in, and we're gonna see how it goes. Some of you might be wondering where the oven drawer came from. My oven broke. I kind of do this a lot though. Like if I have something and I repurpose it for something else, you know, there's plenty of stuff around your house and it breaks and you can use parts of it for something else, you know, you should. So here we go, all the pieces are in. Sorry, I kind of cut some of it out, or I didn't record some of it because it started pouring rain here, but I wanted to get it finished. So here are all the metal pieces in. For honesty, the Bondo did make it very hard to use the rivets, so I ended up having to use some self-tappers, which I wasn't really wanting to do, but it kind of left me no choice. And yeah, it is kind of sloppy. That's probably because I had a few cold ones on the way. Next time you see it, it will be painted and we will go from there. This is this floor completed. Now, Like I said, this one was quite a bit more difficult because I had to find a way to go over the previous Bondo work on the floor. But it is all sealed in there. It's about half self-tappers and half rivets. But overall, it's solid and it looks good. It looks pretty good, let's be real. It doesn't look great. But it does the job, and that's the important thing. And once I put the mat back down, no one will be able to see it. So I'm pretty happy with how this side turned out, even though I don't think it looks quite as good as the other side. It does the job, it looks okay, it covers the holes. I don't have to worry about putting my foot through the floor or anything like that anymore, or anybody else doing that. Like on the other side, the outer edge will be painted once I deal with that rusty area right there. But for this side and the other side, I'm probably going to use Bondo. I'm going to clean those up and use a rust converter. I'm going to encapsulate them, go over them with some Bondo, and make it look fairly decent to where it doesn't pop out to anyone's eye. So I'm going to go ahead and put the mats down, and then we'll come back and I'll show you both sides with the mats down so you get an idea of how it finally came out. And we'll put the trim back in as well, or the door seal and the trim transition that goes at the bottom, and then we'll look at it from there. Done. Feels good. And it is quote unquote, it's fixed. So come on in here, let me show you how it looks after everything's put back together. It turned out pretty good. You know, it's solid. Ain't going nowhere. Hey, I'm gonna say mission accomplished. I did exactly what I wanted to do. Same over here. Looks all right, no holes in the floor. The mat's a little rough, you know, there's some cracks and some broken parts, especially once I folded it over. I know that's not perfect, but it's still better than having nothing, and it is solid. Which was the goal. Accomplished the goal. It's an old beat up service truck. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but the good thing about what I did is the way that it's in, it can all be taken out. So if I ever do get to a point, or I decide that the truck is worth it as far as value and going forward, I can take everything that I did out and do it the right way without having any additional issues, aside from it rusting more if it does. Now all the other little stuff here, like cap corners and stuff, I got a plan for all that stuff, but today's just about getting the floors done, and it took me a lot longer than I anticipated. Now, some people are probably wondering, well, why didn't I just weld them in? Could have been more permanent that way. Two reasons. This way I can take it all out if I want to. Number two, I don't have a welder, so I'm working with what I got. All in all, this project cost me $15. $10 for the riveter, $5 for extra rivets. Everything else I had on hand and was able to work with. The oven drawer, my oven broke. Okay, so I had to get a new oven. So that's the old oven going to the scrapyard. Pulled the drawer out of it and made good use of it. So any scrap metal that you may have around, you could probably do stuff like this with it with a little ingenuity, some patience, and some time. Also, the tools I used were very minimal, very minimal. For the majority of this project, I used metal shears, some pliers. I didn't even use a vise. The one tool that I did use that a lot of people may not have is I used a miter saw with a metal cutting blade on it. Now I didn't need to, but it did save me some time. Okay, it allowed me to cut it. But what I found is that using it, I had to go back with a file and file off the edges so that there weren't sharp edges that I could cut myself on. So it probably would have worked out better just using the metal shears all the way through. But I used what I had. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna say that's not the right way to do this and everything, and that is fine. You are 100% correct. But this is the cheap way to do it, to get it done, to get it going down the road, and not to have holes in the floor that you'll look at the ground passing you by in. So I am happy with this, and I hope you enjoyed this too. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my first video. Oh, and by the way, this door Shuts a lot tighter now. Anyways, what I was saying is I want to thank everyone who watched my first video. I really appreciate it. For those of you who made a comment, thank you so much. And for those of you who subscribed to my channel, I am just dumbfounded. I didn't think anybody was gonna watch this. So thank you so much. I did decide on a name for it, Roughneck Fixes. And I think that kind of suits me and suits what I do. And I do this mostly for fun and for enjoyment and for entertainment. I like saving old vehicles, and I hope that you do too, and I hope that you'll get out there and remember, it doesn't get done unless you do it, and it doesn't matter how you do it, it only matters how it gets done. So thanks for watching. If you liked this video, great. If you didn't, my bad. Otherwise, catch you next time.